Thanksgiving Monday. Today on Myrtleville House Museum's video, we're going to be doing some apple cider making. The good family that lived here at Myrtleville House Museum, they would have had an apple orchard, a pear orchard, that kind of thing on site, so they would have had to make a lot of things with the apples, especially during this fall season. The harvest was a very special time of year where they made all their preserves. So after they would have had their preserves and everything done, they would have had time to dye fabrics and things like that, which we're going to talk about next week. But for this week, we're going to be making some apple cider with apples generously donated by the Brentwood Farms. So you guys can go and make sure you get to your local produce from there. If you're interested in getting cider, they've already got cider ready for you. Otherwise, you can get apples and things like that. We're going to use our apple crusher here, and we're going to make some cider today. All right, so come on closer and we'll show you how we do it. All right, so we've got our apple crusher here. Basically, we've got this compartment here with the crusher inside it. This will mince our apples. The apple minces will drop into our bucket with burlap just to kind of keep the chunks out of our cider. And once we've got enough liquid, enough apple chunks, we're going to press it using the drill up here, and it's going to squeeze out into our bucket at the bottom. All right, so we're going to start with a few apples just to get it going, like so. Then you want to hold the handle here, just give it a couple good turns. Sometimes it takes a while for the apples to get crushed. And go both ways. You can see how this takes a lot more effort than nowadays we think of when we want apple cider. You just go to the store and buy it. But the early settlers had to make their own cider, and it would have taken quite a lot of apples to do that. So 1 glass of apple cider takes about maybe 15 apples or so to get that enough juice for that. So now that we have all our apples crushed and inside our bucket, we're going to close up the burlap here. Get that all in, and then we're going to put our press lid on. That's this tool right here. That goes into the bucket, like so, drops down on top of the burlap, and then you're going to slide it back underneath the drill press here. And then we're going to start lowering this down, all right? So we're going to lower it down until it hits the press lid, and that's going to get some resistance, and that's when we're going to start pressing our cider. All right, so we've now wound it down all the way to the bottom, and it's now hitting the press lid. So I can definitely feel the resistance now on the handle. You definitely want to keep like a foot kind of holding the bottom of the base so it doesn't spin, and eventually you'll get to a point where you can't turn the handle anymore, and you'll begin to see the liquid kind of drain out the hole into the bucket below. I can already see some now actually coming out. So we've got some cider coming out, and then once that's all done, then you just kind of raise it up again and start all over. Alright, so we've poured out all our cider from the bucket, and we were left with this much cider. So that's about 15 apples that we put in there, 15 to 17 or so. And that's how much cider we get out of that. So you can see how it would take a lot of effort just to make a simple drink like this. But this would have been a great source of vitamins for the pioneers and early settlers during the winter time as well. So this was a great way for them to save the apples over the winter time, preserve them and such like that. All right, so yeah, so this is our apple cider. Tune in next week. We're going to do some dyeing fabrics and dyeing yarns, which they would have used for their clothing and blankets and things like that. All right, so we'll see you next week.